population is now living under some form of lockdown due to coronavirus. More than 3 billion people in almost 70 countries and territories have been asked to stay at home. There are now more than 450,000 recorded cases of the virus globally, but we know that testing is not readily available in many places, so that number is likely to be much higher. So let's take a look at the situation across the globe. Let's focus on Spain, which has now recorded more coronavirus deaths than China. 738 people have died in just the past day. It takes the country's death toll to more than 3,400. Close to 50,000 people are now ill with this virus in Spain. More than 2,500 of them are in a serious or critical state. Damien Grammaticus reports from Madrid.
On a dark day for Spain, a sobering sight. Van after van carrying bodies of virus victims. This is Madrid's biggest ice rink. It's been requisitioned to hold the dead. They need it. There are so many now. Arriving at Spanish hospitals are more and more cases. Infections here leaping every day. And more than 5,000 medical staff have fallen sick too. So part of Spain's urgent efforts are these new rapid testing centres, specifically for those in the front line. Toñi Osuna, a nurse, fears she has the virus. A colleague has it. The swabs are invasive, unpleasant, handled with extreme care in case they've picked up the pathogen.
I'm very worried, especially for my family and my patients. At home I stay in one room, isolated, treating myself for my symptoms alone.
A huge amount of concern there. Well, the Spanish government has asked the EU for protective equipment for its medical workers, as Gavin Lee reports.
What we're talking about is 1.5 million face masks, 500,000 respirators, 500,000 fast emergency testing kits, hundreds of ventilators, and now this will have to go to EU countries and elsewhere, possibly China, to see what comes back. In the EU, they're going through a procurement program at the moment. It's in its early stages. There are reports that at the moment it looks like countries combined could only provide around 10% of what's needed around the EU, so that's something that may take some time, but worrying for Spain today. Going across to Italy, where that figure is still the highest anywhere in terms of the death toll in the world, 70,000 cases, 7,000 deaths. Giuseppe Conte, the Prime Minister there, saying that they will look to increase now the penalties of people violating the strict lockdown there up to €4,000. And if you are in quarantine and you therefore breach that quarantine, you're looking at a possible 5-year jail sentence. So that's the severity that Italy's taking it now.
So, Gavin, they're mentioning Italy. This is, in fact, an Italian patient who is one of many who has, in fact, been transferred to a hospital in Germany. And it's because Italian hospitals are simply overrun. And Mark Lowen, our correspondent in Rome, has been tweeting the latest figures, saying that the daily increase in deaths has fallen slightly in Italy. It is down to still a shocking number of 683, but it is lower. So that means that for a fourth straight day, it is going down, a slower increase in the total number of currently infected, as he ends that hashtag hope. We've also been hearing that the head of the civil protection in Italy has a mild fever, and Mark also tweeting about that, saying, well, as if Italy needed more potent symbols of its difficulty, of its plight at the moment. The man who's charged with updating people about deaths across the country and new infections may himself have been flawed by this virus. So we'll keep you abreast of the situation there. Now, that lockdown remains in place in Italy, with authorities especially taking it extremely seriously. Authorities there using drones to check that people are adhering to the rules. In France, which has recorded more than 20,000 cases, President Emmanuel Macron has visited a field hospital in the eastern city of Mulhouse. Now, India is on its first day of a 3-week nationwide lockdown, and this is an image from Jammu State. This is police officers who have told people to crouch inside a marked circle in order to maintain a social distancing width between them after these allegedly broke a rule prohibiting gatherings of more than 3 people. Now, the country has also seen a sharp increase in cases in recent days, as Arundai Mukherjee has reports from Delhi.
A message for all Indian citizens: stay indoors and stay safe, or else face not only health but legal consequences. Once bustling cities turned into ghost towns overnight as the country observes a complete lockdown. Only those doing the most essential jobs allowed on the streets. We came across this family of 4 who failed to get home before the lockdown.
No one is helping us. People are scared to give us a ride because of the virus. The police are also asking for our identity cards.
Desperate and worried for their children, they are having to cycle nearly 15 miles to get home. These were the scenes in Old Delhi as hundreds of homeless gathered, demanding food from authorities. Some fear hunger will kill them before coronavirus does. Others who were out to buy medicines and groceries told us the situation was challenging, but agreed a complete lockdown was needed to beat the virus.
There's no stock, no vegetable, nothing. Our daily needs are also not getting met. Milk, I didn't find milk, bread for my people at home.
This is good that Prime Minister Modi has enforced a lockdown. It's the only way forward.
These are unprecedented scenes in a country of 1.3 billion people, unimaginable before this crisis. Many observers say that only a politician like Narendra Modi could take and implement such a drastic step. India has tested fewer people than most other countries. The virus is already likely to have spread in far greater number than officially recognized. For the world's second most populous country,